And
Yeah.
one day what happened, they kidnapped me.
Okay.
Because I was one of the older son, and that's like something they said, okay, they kidnapped me.
Whoa.
And I was actually going to the market to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
And I never came home. And my parents were like, I didn't know where I was because someone came and grabbed me from the back and knocked me out. And I woke up in this place, and it was a mountain area, like where, and they came to the house and they opened the suit. There was the money inside, and they gave that to my dad and say, you are a great leader, and everyone loves you and follow you. If you accept Islam, you can have all this money, and we'll give you a mosque, and you can be a leader of all these people. You can do your own thing. All you have to do is just accept Islam and bring all those people back to become a Muslim.
Yeah. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to the Help Me See show. I'm so excited for another episode. I'm going to introduce my guest here in just a minute, but we're really passionate about building this community of people that are challenging limiting belief systems. And I've been talking to so many of you that have come up to me and approached me and just talked about how you've been challenged and you're experiencing so much just benefits from the content we've been talking about and stories we've been telling. And so we've been challenging limiting belief systems, hearing stories of people who are really walking in the land of possibility and choosing to push past the familiar things. And so today I want to introduce my guest. He's a good friend of mine, and he's an absolute legend, and his story is incredible. His name's Anis Khan. And so, Anis, thanks so much for being here, man.
Awesome. Thank you for having me here, Justin. I deeply respect you, and you are an amazing husband, an intentional father, and a man of faith, and someone who actually creates a space for people to come and share their story. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you. I'll pay you for saying all those nice things to me later. I wrote to you. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's so good. No, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And that means a lot to me. And I genuinely mean what I say when your story is absolutely incredible. When you first told me your story, I actually didn't believe it. I was like, this is the stuff out of like a movie script,
right?
Like the stuff that people go through that, overcoming the odds of this life. So I want to talk about your story, but before we maybe jump into your story, what would you say is like, what's one word that would describe Anis? For those that are listening, they've never met you before.
Right.
If you were to summarize, like, who is Anis Khan?
Anis, right, one word.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That would be relentless.
Yes.
So I've been someone like, I face challenges.
Yeah.
And that's been theme of my life. Like there's so many challenges come in, but I don't give up. I just keep going. So that's what I have seen in my life.
That's true.
Like it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
Like, people think, Anis's life is so easy. Like he shows up and he smiles and all that. No.
Right.
But background, like it's not easy. And I have been like not quitting. I'm like, things come up. I need to face it. The challenge comes up. I need to face it. So relentless is the word
Relentless.
I would say. Yeah. That's me.
It's so funny because I would 100% agree with that. And we were laughing actually before we started filming today around how every time I see you, it's like another project you're on. Yeah. I feel like at one time I was talking to you, it was like, you were doing insurance, and then you were doing real estate, and then you were like helping with the food truck, and then you guys are starting an optic company, and then you're a dad, and then I just feel like it's like one thing to the next thing, but that is a word that describes you, relentless, which is incredible.
Yes, thank you.
So take us back now. You grew up in is it Pakistan?
Pakistan, yeah.
Okay, and maybe take us back to your upbringing, and maybe just give us a bit of an overview of like what was your story? How did you grow up? How did you end up coming to Canada? And what were some of the things that you went through along the way? Because I want people to hear it because it's crazy. So anyways, tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah, so grew up in Pakistan in a Christian home.
Okay.
And my dad was a pastor, so you can relate to that.
Yeah.
So we can have our own challenges, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And growing in Pakistan as a Christian was very challenging because in Pakistan, when you're a Christian, you're labeled as a second-class citizen.
Okay.
They don't like you. They said you're unclean. So there's so many challenges come with that.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was like part of a church. Like he was a founder of a church, and in a small town which was growing, and people didn't like that around that. All the Muslim people around, they didn't like it. And there were so many challenges that happened, like life threats. They took my dad away once and kind of kidnapped him, tried to kill him, and he survived. He came home, and that like shook me. Like I was And I was like 6 or 7 year old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's being Christian is dangerous, man. Like,
Right. It's physically, literally
physically
dangerous.
You can get killed. But like I've always seen my father, like he never gave up. He will come. He has like blood on his face, and he's one time they broke his collarbone. And
Wow.
next thing I know, like he's going preaching.
Hmm.
I'm like, this guy, like he doesn't care about his life.
Yeah, what did you think about your dad?
Right. I'm like, like why even do that? Right? He's
Right.
putting himself in more danger.
Yeah.
But like, he never gave up because he knew like, God called him for a reason. Like he was there to share the news about Jesus. So
Whoa.
he went on. And there was so many things happen in between. And one day what happened, they kidnapped me.
Okay.
Because I was one of the older son, and that's like something they said, okay, they kidnapped me.
Whoa.
And I was actually going to the market, buy some stuff.
Yeah.
And I never came home. And my parents were like, I didn't know where I was because someone came and grabbed me from the back and knocked me out. And I woke up in this place, and it was a mountain area, like where, like if we compare, it's like BC, beautiful.
Okay.
Like mountain, trees, a little bit like chilly, and you can see fog. I'm like, I was like going to, and then I'm recollecting my thoughts. Okay, I was going to the market, and how did I end up here?
So you woke up in the mountains.
In mountains.
How old were you?
I was 13.
Okay.
I was 13. I'm like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe I'm dead and this is heaven. I'm like, maybe that's how, the whole thing I've heard about, like, oh, heaven, that's heaven.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, no, I'm still in my body. So like, I have some like blood bruises and like, it's like I fell kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I open my eyes. I'm looking at I'm like in a cliff. It's like a cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm on a ledge. That's how I woke up, and I'm like, I'm scared of heights.
Right.
And I'm like, I start crying. I'm like shouting, like, somebody help me, help me. And there's this guy on the top of the cliff. He looks down at me and he's like, how did you end up there? Are you a drug addict or something? Like you just fell? Like what happened to you? I'm like, I don't know where I am. Just get me out of here.
Yeah.
So he brought some more people. He brought cops, and like they pulled me out of there. And they said, where are you from? And I told the name of my city. And they're like, you're like over 1,000 kilometers away from home.
Whoa.
Like, how did you end up here? I'm like, I have no idea. I was going to the market and someone came from behind and I ended up here. I just woke up here.
1,000 kilometers away.
1,000 kilometers away. And they're like, okay, we'll try to get you home because there's some trucks like they go that route. It's going to maybe take you a couple of days, but we will get you home.
Yeah.
So I hitchhiked home. And throughout that journey, I was thinking, if there's any God, I don't know what happened to my family, if they are alive or not.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about my dad.
Yeah.
Like, like they tried to kill him, and like they've been like doing all this to him. Maybe they killed them. Or maybe somehow I survived I had no idea what was happening. And I was questioning my faith on that 2-day journey.
Yeah.
Like if there's actually a God, or maybe this
on
is
your way home.
Yeah. If this is all scam. Like I was thinking maybe this
Right.
Christianity, Jesus and all that is just because it's just that.
Right.
So finally got to my town. Soon as I got off the truck, then I recognized, okay, that's my town. Then I know how to get home.
Yeah.
And when I was walking and someone on the bike saw me, it was from our church. The person from my church is like,
Okay.
oh, that's Anis's ghost. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, just come. He took me on his bike. He rushed home. And when I got home, there was like about 60, 70 people in my house. And when they saw me, they all started crying. And my mom came and she just, hugged me. And she's like, we were actually celebrating your death. I'm like, what do you mean celebrating my death? They said, you didn't come home when you left. And, it's been almost a week. And we thought you are dead. You're gone. And they were all here to celebrate your funeral.
Oh my
They
goodness.
couldn't find the body and they're celebrating funeral. Then my dad rushed in and he's like, I knew you were coming home. Then I'm like, you knew where I was? Why didn't you come get me?
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't you come get me?
13-year-old Anis.
Yeah.
What do you mean you knew where I was?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I just wanted to sleep. I was like so sleep deprived and I just wanted to go sleep. I took shower, slept, and I woke up and my dad said, the day you left market, you never came home. And we went to the police, we filed a report, and they said you need to wait 24 hours. And maybe your son is like, he's 13-year-old, is want to just go enjoy his life and maybe he'll come back after 24 hours. But you never came home. Then he said, we got a call from these people and they said, we have your son and you have to accept Islam right now. If you don't accept Islam right now, we'll throw your son off the cliff. And if he survives, he may have all broken legs and he won't be able to walk forever, or he may die. And my dad said, instantly God spoke to him. Something inside says, say no to them and I will bring your son home.
Whoa.
And my mom was listening to all these moms like, why you do that? And my mom is like, I
Right.
accept Islam. I accept. Bring my son. Bring my son. Bring my son.
Yeah, accept Islam. Bring
Yeah,
my
yeah,
son
bring my
home.
son. Man, and they hung up the phone, and that's when they threw me off the cliff.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the way it was all God, and there was a small ledge, and I just fell on that ledge. I didn't go all the way down. That was like, they say it was like about 500 feet. Like I would have fallen down
Right.
and would have been just probably killed. I
Yeah.
would have like broken my legs and probably wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
And my dad said, you came home, see, you have none of your broken legs, nothing, you're fine.
Whoa.
And that was a turning point in my life. And all the 2-day journey that I was thinking about questioning God, questioning, like if there's a God, I'm like, yes, there's a God. He brought me here, like safe. Yes, the whole journey was difficult, bad for my parents, like whatever, the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
But like that changed. That was a game changer for me.
Really?
It was a game changer for me. It changed my faith like this.
Whoa.
And I became a total different person of what I used to think about, because
Yeah.
I used to go to church because of my dad, because he
Right.
was a pastor.
Mm.
And, I wanted to be a good example of like, you're a pastor kid, you should
Right.
come to church. You
Yep.
probably relate to that, like, you have to like pray. And that's the reason I was going to church before all my 13 years of my life.
Yeah.
And then after that turning point, I was going because I knew there was a God who loves you. He take care of you. And wherever you go, he's with you.
Dude, that's insane. Like
Yes.
that's okay. So I want to camp out there for a minute. So you're 13 years old. You come home.
Yeah.
Everything changes for you in your mind, your heart, your spirit. How would you describe that? Like what were the things that really changed in you? Like what was taking place kind of deep within you?
So it was my faith that went up, because my faith
Yeah.
was not very strong at that time.
Yeah.
And that time I started reading Bible. And I started reading all the stories that, like
Mm.
I was not reading Bible then, because I was just listening to what my dad was telling, all the stories.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me go back to all the stories my dad used to tell.
Yeah.
How David and Goliath, like how that happened.
Right.
Like all how Moses took Israelite out of that. And
Yeah.
I started reading Bible, and that actually gave me my faith was really strong after that.
Mm.
So that helped me building my strong faith.
Yeah.
And that helped me later on in my life a lot.
Mm.
Yeah.
So something in you said, this is legit. Like I cannot, this is firsthand. I've experienced
Yes.
God, and he's revealed himself that he is who he says he is.
Yes.
Wow.
That's correct.
Okay. So 13 years old, then kind of what's the next little bit? Like before you ended up coming this way with your family,
Yes.
what were the next,
Yeah.
years
So-
like after that?
Yeah. So our story. So that what happened to our family. Actually, people who took me, they were like actually kind of scared of us. Like, how did his son come back?
Hmm.
They knew some kind of power is helping them.
Hmm.
So they kind of backed off. So that was like the next 2-3 years, nothing happened to us. Like, my dad will still get like threads letter and stuff like that. And my dad is like, just ignore it, because he knew what happened to him and what happened to me. And it's like, God is on our side. Like,
Right.
let them do whatever. So
Yeah.
church grew like 5 times.
Really?
So it was a small town where people were not. So this area where my dad started a church, like there was like 30 families lived there.
Hmm.
And the area was actually belonged, like the area and the church actually was belonged to Christian people.
Okay.
Church was built back in when, British people were there.
Yeah.
And it was like now was taken by all the Muslim people, and they used to like tie their animals inside the church.
Okay.
So my dad actually took the church from them. He
Oh.
went to the court and he did all this thing. He knew some people,
Yeah.
and we got the church back.
Huh.
And that's the reason, one of the reasons they were like against us.
Okay.
They took our property, but it was like actually property belonged to Christian people.
Got it.
So yeah, the church grew. So 5 times. So we had 5 different churches
Hmm.
in the same area. Like, like 15, 20 kilometers. People in Pakistan, people don't travel as much because they don't have cars, or
Right.
they like either walk or they bike, right? So
Yeah.
so my dad opened up like 5 different churches, and church grew like a
Wow.
lot in like that 3 years.
Yeah.
And the area my dad was growing church, people were like who's this guy? Like giving people discouragement, because all the Christian people don't have like proper jobs there, because they don't give them jobs.
Okay.
They said you have to work as a janitor. Even if
Right.
your son's going to school, your son is not gonna get a job in a government or
Yeah.
anywhere, because he's
Is that like a
Christian.
class system? Would that attached to that or not really?
Not a class, but a religion.
Okay.
It's more of a religion discrimination they have.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So, and those people like now, because knowing our story now, they're like, no, the dad would tell them like, God made you for not to be a janitor. He made you to be, own this company,
Hmm.
and you can do it. You have to like change your minds and you can do it.
Yeah.
And people didn't like to do what they were doing, and they're going back to school.
Hmm.
They were sending their kids to school, because we don't want our kids to be a janitor. Like
Right.
I've been janitor for like 3 generations.
Right.
And and people didn't like that. Muslim people didn't like that.
Yeah.
So then they all rallied together. They did something, and they came to our house. I was 17-year-old at that point, and they brought police in our house. And one of those their Muslim leader, they came to our house, and they said, and they brought there was a suitcase, small suitcase. I don't know why they brought the suitcase. I was like thinking, and they came to the house, and they opened the suitcase. There was the money inside, and they gave that to my dad and say, "You are a great leader, and everyone loves you and follow you. If you accept Islam, you can have all this money, and we'll give you a mosque, and you can be a leader of all these people. You can do your own thing. All you have to do is just accept Islam and bring all those people back to become a Muslim.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, in Pakistan there's a law. It's a blasphemy law, and we have police here, and we can put that blasphemy law on you, and we can just maybe, if we want, we can just kill you right here."
Whoa.
And that's law in Pakistan. It's
Right.
blasphemy law.
Yeah.
And my dad, he didn't want to say anything, because when government gets involved,
Right.
like you can't go anywhere.
Yes.
So my dad said, "Why don't you give us a night to think about it? It's a great offer.
Yeah.
Give us a night to think about it."
Right.
And they said, "Sure, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk about it." So as soon as they left, my dad said, "We gotta pack our bags and we gotta leave from here." Because when other like higher leaders get involved and
Right.
police get involved, you cannot, because it's a country that has this law.
Yes.
You have to get out of here. So
There's
same
no
night,
negotiating this.
no
We
negotiating.
must leave.
Yeah. So we just left right away. Whatever we had, like
Yeah.
whatever we could pack, whatever, we just left from there. And then we went to another town, which is about like 200 kilometers away.
Okay.
And we were there, and we stayed in a hotel, because my dad didn't want to go to any of his relatives, because if you go there, they will kind of find out where we are. So we just went there, stayed in a hotel. But my dad was connected to a few people in church and see what's going on. And they said they went to your house and they broke everything inside your house, and they stole some of your stuff, and they're looking for you. My dad's like, "It's better for us to stay here." And we lived like that for a whole year.
Whoa.
We moved from city to city, because those people have network. And
Yeah.
and in Pakistan, when you go to a new town, people know you're not from here.
Right.
And then they start, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And like they try to like figure out where you're from. And they didn't want to know that. They didn't want like them to know that where we are.
Right.
And we went around, like kind of around Pakistan, like going to different city to city,
Yeah.
like for almost 1 year.
1 year.
For 1 year. Like, yeah. So that was like a very hard time. And
Yeah.
it was bringing me back to like, when I was 13 and
Yep.
this whole thing happened. And, but that faith that built, like, kept me
Yeah.
strong, and kept my brother and my sisters, like it was 5 of us left, and like kept us strong then.
It's interesting. Just time out real quick. 'Cause as you're talking, I feel like our responses are often so diverse around, for some people that would break them. They would say like, "God, it's too hard. You're not real. You're not like, you're not trustworthy. This isn't worth the effort and the adversity."
Yeah.
But then other people allow it to be actually something that it cements it. It actually propels you. It actually fuels your faith. And that sounds like that's really been the story of your life.
Yes.
It's actually fueled you.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Which is so fascinating to me that you can choose that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's not it's actually independent of anything anyone's ever done to you. You get to choose that mindset.
Yeah.
It can fuel you, or it
Yes.
can, make you a victim.
Yes, that's right. So we
Anyways.
didn't want it to be same thing. We didn't want to be a victim. Like, stuff God has done in our life, He'll get out of here as well.
Yeah.
This whole situation. So because my dad wanted to stay in Pakistan
Okay.
at that time, to go back to all the churches that he built. And all the people looked up to him as a leader. And leader has left. When leader
Yeah.
leaves, people like get discouraged. So my dad was connected to them, he had numbers of all those people. He would call them individually and tell them, "I'm still here. Just want to make sure I stay alive so I can lead you guys later on."
Yeah.
Then one day we're just sitting in this hotel, and my dad is like, "No, it's enough. Let's go back. If they're looking for us, we're not gonna convert. They can kill me, or it's fine. You can." Dad was directly talking to me. "You can take my legacy. You can run the church." And I'm like, "That's a big ask, but I will try." But
Because how old would you have been at this
I
point?
was 17.
17,
I was
okay.
17. And my dad is like, we just go back.
Yeah.
It's okay. Bible says people will kill you in my name. Maybe
Right.
that's our time now to be an example for people. And that night we decided we're just going back. We're just going back to our city.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
And that same night, we all went to bed. We couldn't sleep all night because we knew what was coming tomorrow. We're just going back. And I couldn't sleep. And I heard this voice, and it was God's voice. And kind of like my dad's voice, but it was like it was God's voice, different. And it's like, "You're not going back. I have a bigger plans for you. It's the only time I've heard God
Okay.
hearing.
And this is what you heard.
That's what
not
I heard.
your family, not your
mine.
dad.
It's
You
me
heard
heard.
this.
It's me heard. And in the morning, I couldn't sleep all night. I've been praying, and I I didn't want to wake anyone up.
Yeah.
And morning, we woke up. I just went straight to my dad. Dad, we're not going, because I heard this voice, and God is saying He has bigger plans for us.
Hmm.
And my dad was quiet. He didn't say anything. And here comes my mom. And mom is like, I've been restless all night. And God told me, like, we are not going back.
Hmm.
God has bigger plan for us.
Hmm.
And here comes my brother, who was like 10 at that time, 11 at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back, And I was so restless all night. I can't think of going back.
Right.
And my dad speaks, he said the same thing. Like, he's been praying all night, and God spoke to him, we're not going back. Because He has bigger plans for us. He doesn't want us to get killed, and end of story.
Right.
He want maybe have a bigger. So we decide we're not going.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, what are we doing next then?
Right.
We're not
You're
going.
like, okay, well then.
What are we doing? We keep going around Pakistan one more time. Another round in Pakistan.
Another lap.
Another lap of Pakistan. Like, what are we doing? So my dad spoke with one of his friend, like, who said, what should we do? Like, just for advice, like, Pakistan is not safe for you.
Okay.
Like, you have to, like, keep going around Pakistan. You have to, like, leave Pakistan.
Right.
That's the only way, you can survive.
Yeah.
Leave
Only way to
Pakistan.
break this cycle. You got to actually leave.
Leave Pakistan, and when the situation gets better, then you come back and take over. So I said, okay, like, where can we go? Like, we had our passports with us, because we took our passport with us.
Sure.
Like, where are we going? Like, it's not easy to just, it's not Canadian passport where you can just go to airport and just leave. Like, you have to get a visas. Like, where are we gonna get these visas from, and which country are we going?
Right.
Then my dad's friend suggested, like, why don't you go to Sri Lanka? Because what's happening in Sri Lanka right now, they're doing this big conference. Like, all these countries are going there. It's like a G7.
Okay.
Like, those countries.
Yep.
So it'd be easy for you to go there, because they're the open country for you to get visa easy.
Got it.
So my dad's like, yeah, sure, we can apply there. Usually it takes a week to get a visa. You go there, give them your passport, they do a small interview, whatever, and then they give you a visa in a week. So it's okay, we'll find a place where we're gonna stay for a week, and then we can do that. Okay, so we went there, gave our passports, told them we go in there for a visit, because this whole thing is happening when I visit the country.
Sure.
So we gave our passports, and it was in the morning, like around 9 o'clock with the first one, because we just wanted to, like, get this done. And they called us at 3 o'clock and said, your visas are ready. Can you come collect your passports? And we were not expecting that. We were like, we got to wait for a week, and we arranged this place for a week.
Right.
We're like, wow, that's God just want us.
Yeah.
Just like everything was happening because God wanted us to leave from there. Yeah, we went there, got our passports, and we got our flight tickets, and we just left. In 2 days, we just left Pakistan. And we were so scared, because we were like, if we go to the airport, what if someone recognizes us? Because it was very close to where our city was. If, like, those people are there and they stop us and they can take us back. But my dad was like, no, don't worry, because we got our visas so quickly. So God is going to open a door for us, we'll be fine. And I was so scared. My mom was so scared. My sister was so scared. But my dad was like one of those guys, like, he knows that when God is on your side, like, he's a creator of heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Like, he has heart and minds of all these people.
Yeah.
Why you need to worry about?
There's a faith fortitude that you're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Nothing to fear.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Then we went to Sri Lanka. And the thing is, like, we went to Sri Lanka. We didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
We didn't have any hotels booked. Like,
we show up.
We just show up.
We're here.
Yeah. So my dad is like, we're here. I'm like, okay, so like, we're gonna go find a hotel. We're gonna stay. We didn't have enough money, but we have a little bit, like, where we can maybe another month or so. Like, my dad is like, let's go to church. Because God is same in Pakistan. He's same in Sri Lanka. He provided us there. He took care of us there. He will take care of us in Sri Lanka as well. So, like, sure. So we got off the airport. There's some taxis and stuff. So my dad saw this taxi driver. He's having a cross in his car, and but I was like, okay. He said, like, where do you want to go? My dad is like, take it to the church. And he's like, which church? There's so many churches here. But take me to your church. And I was like, oh, do you know someone in our church? My dad's like, yes, I know. Just take me there. Yeah. So he pulled up in a Baptist church, and he's like, oh, do you know the pastor here? But I was like, yeah, I know someone who's above the pastor as well.
I know the leader of the pastor.
The leader of the pastor. So we went in. The church was locked, but there was a chapel which was open. It says it's 24 hours. It says open.
Okay.
So we just went in and we just started praying. Like, my dad just fell in and he just started praying, saying, God, you're the same here as you're same in Pakistan, same here. You took us throughout this whole journey, and just tell us what we're going to do now. You
Wow.
brought us here. Like just tell us what we're just praying out. At that time, my English was not as good.
Yeah.
So I was just praying in Urdu, just speaking in Urdu, praying. And someone just tapped my shoulder, while I was praying. Then I looked at it and he said, come out. And there was this person, Sri Lankan person, very nice older gentleman. He's like, where are you guys from? And you guys speaking a different language and you're crying and praying. And I'm like, oh, I just poured in. Oh, we're from Pakistan. They're trying to kill us. And I just opened up everything to him.
Yeah.
And my mom is like, why are you telling this person all
Right.
this? What if he's one of them?
Right.
What if it takes us back, or what if he's one of them? I'm like, no, but I just want to share. I just want this. I want this out of me. Like, I just want to share this with somebody. This person says, like, he lives like about like an hour from here, and he just comes here for shopping and stuff like that. And today he was walking through by this church. He always walks by this church, and he's a Catholic. And he doesn't like other Baptists and all those churches. And whenever he looks at this church, like, oh, one day this church will be a Catholic church. He said that's what he prays, whenever he goes.
Lord, take these Baptists and make them Catholic.
Make them Catholic. And he's like, and he said, today when I was walking, something was telling me just go inside. Something was telling me just go inside. When I came in and I just saw you guys. And he said, I believe God's speaking, so tell me, what can I do for you guys? And he was just only like, no, there's a place you want to stay. You know anyone here? I'm like, we don't know anyone here. And my dad just came up and he's like, yes, we need a space to stay because we don't know where to stay. He's like, why don't you come with me? I have a house in my city, which is empty. You can stay there as long as you want. And my mom is like, no, we're not going with this person. She's always like, no, I want you to be safe. I want my kids to be safe. No.
Yeah.
My dad is like, no, we're going. And because God brought this person, he told us, he never comes in, and he came in for us.
Wow.
Yeah, so we went in and to this place. Turns out he was a mayor of that town.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was a mayor of the town. He had all this connection. Then he's like, I'm Catholic and you guys are Pentecostal. I will connect you to different churches. Like because this is something he said God spoke to him very first time to do something for somebody.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So he helped us through, connected so many people. And we lived in Sri Lanka for 3.5 years. Like we wanted to go back, but situation was not good.
Okay.
Those Muslim people, they burned one of our churches.
Right.
Yeah, and then the situation was really bad. So we had to stay in Sri Lanka for 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So this is putting you close to 20 then?
Yes. So I was 20, 20 and a half. Yeah. Almost 21.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then from there, is that when you began to make the shift? What did that look like coming from there to Canada?
Yes.
What sort of made that next move?
Okay, so we couldn't stay in Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka had their own challenges, the government and all that. So we thought of like maybe staying here for like longer.
Yeah.
But like country was like going through their own challenges.
Okay.
And they said you either have to go back or find another country to live.
Yeah.
So my dad had this connection with this pastor who was persecuted the same way we did, and he lived in Brampton.
Okay.
Yeah, he did in Brampton. So my dad connected with him, and so he said, let me find a way for you guys to come here.
Yeah.
Because we cannot go back.
Yeah.
The situation is bad. And my dad's like, my kids are growing. They need like a stable place where they can, grow and learn. And so that's when, we made a move. And it took us like a year and a half. And then we came to Canada in December 2011.
Wild.
Yeah. The coldest year. Coldest time of the year, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We came from like a tropical country to like -10.
-10, yeah. Oh, that's insane. I'm just thinking as you're talking, I'm just so fascinated by the journeys of life. Like you think it's going to be one thing, and even with God, you can think it's going to be one thing, and yet it has these incredible ebbs and flows.
Yes.
That you don't know sometimes which way to go. And you don't know who you can trust. Like you talk about that ebb and flow between even your mom saying like, we can't go with them. And you're like, no, God, we have to go with them. And, and then saying, no, we're going to go back. And then God saying, no, actually, I want you to go this way. And the journey of just, possibility is so interesting because it's not just up and to the right.
Yes.
It's often clouded with, setbacks and threats and hardship. And yet there's something about it that if you allow it, it forges you into this, like, in your scenario, it's a faith-fueled somebody who's got this grit and fortitude, but it shapes you.
Yes.
And if you allow it, it really propels you to be something that is incredible. And I even wonder, like, can you become that without the forging? Like if you didn't have that, would you be the person you are today? You know what I mean? Like that it's such a wild concept to think about how you become who you are. And and how you actually can allow those things to fuel you, or again to sort of make you into sort of like, well, I'm a victim and I can't do
Yes.
anything.
Yes. So I have to like, like come out of that victim mindset
Yeah.
because the old things that happened to me, I didn't want it to be there. I didn't want to be, I wanted to like come out of that situation
Yeah.
and see that, God did all those things for a reason.
Yeah.
Like I know things happen and those things are bad, but those
Mhm.
happens for a reason for us to learn from those things.
Hmm.
When we learn from those things and we use those examples and
Yeah.
we can actually help path like go, like a path is more clear.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way. So we need to use that
Yeah.
instead of like becoming a victim. We
Huh.
need to like use that as a faith and
Yep.
keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come into Canada. What were some of the things you learned about yourself? What did you learn about your own mindsets? Were there still things that you needed to still work through,
Yep.
shift through?
Mhm.
Talk to me a little bit about like, your mindset kind of coming to Canada.
Okay, so when I grew up, I looked at the value
Yeah.
of like what people think of you.
Mm.
When you work hard, people looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that person is that's a good person.
Right.
My value was how people think about me.
Mm.
So that mindset I have to overcome. No, like you are what you are. Like you don't need to think about like that person has to think good about me. Then only I'm a good
Mm.
person. I need to overcome of that.
Right.
I need to like become a good person.
Yeah.
Like
Independent of what others thought of you.
Yes.
You had to internally
Journally, I had to like
see it, decide it,
Yes,
believe it.
That's right. Change myself first. Instead of like, regardless of what people think about me,
Hmm.
like think about yourself first. Where you going, which path you're going.
Yeah.
Just like first work on yourself instead of like working on what people think about me.
Right.
So that's how I need to like overcome of like
Yeah.
because over here it was a day and night difference. But the culture, language, and there's so many things that people do here versus what we did back home
Right.
or in Sri Lanka.
Mm.
So I've like overcome of like so many things. One of them was the same thing that I talked about, like overcome of like what people think about me.
Yeah. So like, what were some of those things that you battled or you felt?
One of the things was like people. I always wanted to be like go to school, get a degree or whatever.
Right.
I'm not a most smart person. Like I'm not the smart of talented people. I don't like school.
Right.
I never liked school.
Yeah.
Like I like the self learning part.
Mm.
So that I had like overcome. My mom when we came here like, oh, you should go to school.
Yeah.
Like get a degree. You should become a doctor now. You're in Canada.
Mm.
Like I'm like no, because mom was a nurse.
Yeah.
My sister's nurse. Like maybe you take a
Right.
step further and become a doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
that immigrant spirit.
yes,
Of like, you're going to be a doctor. You're going to be the best. You're going to be a lawyer. You're
yes,
going to be
an engineer. I'm like, no, that's not for me because I'm not very book smart. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna find my own way.
right.
What I'm gonna be.
Yes.
And that's something I need to like overcome.
Okay.
And it was a battle between my family, like
Yeah.
my parents.
Yeah.
But like they understood. They understood
Mm.
because I'm not. They really supported me after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of that would be cross-cultural then. As you came, you have these expectations of your parents
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yes.
You have the faith component, but then you
Yes.
also have this like, what am I wired as? And
Yes.
and sort of discerning who do I want to become?
Yes. And that all came because I later on I found out I'm more of a people person.
Yeah.
I want to like talk to people, because I don't want to be like sitting in a desk. Because
Right.
I went to school,
Yeah.
became a graphic designer,
Yeah.
and like sitting in front of a computer was not my thing. I'm like, no, I need to like get out of here.
Yeah.
5 hours in front of a computer, then you render this, send to a client, they don't like it, change it again.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
like back and forth, back and forth. I enjoyed it, but I was not happy with it.
Right.
I'm like, this is not for me.
Yes.
I'm more a people person. I want to go out, talk to people.
Yeah.
Then I found an opportunity to get into sales.
Mm.
And that's when, my mindset changed about like the whole
Yeah.
this job situation and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Well, and maybe we could talk about some of that because I think permission to explore yourself is sometimes something that people need to just be given permission.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much pressure to
Yes.
pick your lane, and sometimes that's cultural. So that's an interesting one. I
Yes.
feel like as a new Canadian, I feel like that's a big one. Is like there's a
Mhm.
lot of pressure to we've done all this hard work for you, we've sacrificed so much, and then you feel the pressure
Yes.
to to become something,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Almost to honor them.
Mm-hmm.
But that permission to explore all the dynamics and the aspects of you,
Mm-hmm.
and to try lots of things.
Yes.
Yes. One of the things I talk a lot about with our kids is like,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much pressure even in sports, and even right now, my son's in grade 9 and they're starting to talk about universities. And I'm like, he's in grade 9. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, but but like it's to pick your lane,
Yes.
right? There's so much pressure to like, even with
Yes.
sports, it's like, let them try a bunch of sports.
Yes.
They want them to pick a lane and they want them to like, be a professional soccer player, my youngest at age 11. So for me, I feel like I'm pushing back on so much of that, which is like so much of your young years are actually like, try all the things.
Yes.
Try them all.
Yes.
Obviously things that are healthy, don't
Yeah,
stay away
definitely.
from the illicit drugs if you can. But like, like try this wide base. And then it's kind of like a pyramid, not a scheme, but
Yeah.
like, eventually over time you kind of like whittle yourself down to like, you're only going to be doing a few things as you near the end of your life. So
Yes.
that idea of like, but you need a wide base to know what is it that I actually like and what I want to
Yes.
try and what I want to experience and grow. And as you do that, you begin to refine yourself into like, you did the same with graphics, graphic design. You realize, I don't want to do this. I
Yeah.
want to be with people. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now you're trying things with people.
Yes.
And then you begin to whittle down over time
Yes.
what you're actually interested in. So, I mean, I say all that because I feel like that's something you've done a really good job of exploring lots of different things. What's that journey been like? Putting your feet and your hands to lots of different kinds of industries, hobbies, interests.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So I always like believe in like keep planting,
Hmm.
like, keep planting a good seed. Like, you don't see a result overnight.
Right.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It definitely takes time and you get discouraged. Like we recently talked about like a bamboo, right?
Yeah.
When you grow that, it takes like years and years,
Yeah, it's like
years.
5 years.
5
in
years.
the ground.
Yeah, and when it grows, it just shoots.
Yeah.
Like overnight kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's so fast the way it grows. So yeah, to keep planting, like wherever you go, just show up, and keep trying new things. Let's say if you want to get into sales like I did.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see like, okay, which side of sales I want to be at, right? Do you want to be like a sales I want to do like in auto side or want to be in financial side, or be in a mortgage side. So I tried all three.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm like, let me try all these three and see where I fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started with mortgages because at that time we were like in process of buying home and it was so you bought homes, like how complicated that is.
Yeah.
They tell you to bring this document and they tell you all these terms. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, what is this about? And me being new to the country, like it's been 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm like learning about all this now and I don't know what those terms mean. So I'm like, why don't I become one of those people so we can help people understand all those terms in like
Interesting.
simple way.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got into mortgages. So that's how I learned about like all about like how mortgage work, the whole amortization and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was able to explain that to like people who are new to Canada who wanted to buy home, like explain them like really simple terms, not like in a bank term.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great and it was good. And then I always get bored when there's like when there's a downtime. I'm like, I need to start something new.
Right.
And I'm like, why don't I get into car sales at the same time?
Yeah.
Like when
Why not?
downtime, while people getting the documents and I'm doing all this, I can just sell some cars and also learn how the car thing work, right? Yeah, so I tried that and that was good. It was then kept me really busy.
Right.
That was doing two things at the same time,
Yes.
juggling them together. But that helped me a lot talking to different walks of people, right? People come who are like just like me, right?
Yeah.
And some people who are like self-employed, people are like from like regular walk of life,
Sure,
coming in, buying cars. You learn a lot about people. So then COVID hit and like people are not buying cars or not buying houses anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's slowed down.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's a good opportunity for me to get into insurance now because that's the third thing I wanted to try. So yeah, so I got into insurance and that was like very interesting. It looks so boring from outside.
Right.
I'm like, it's gonna be really boring because mortgages look interesting.
Yeah.
But insurance looks very, very, very boring.
Yeah,
very
right.
interesting. Because people just buying their cars, they need insurance. They're buying home, they need insurance.
Yeah.
But when I went into the industry, it was like so fascinating. Like it's amazing. Like it changes, everything changes there like every 3-4 months.
Wow.
New things come in. And then I like to get educated more about what industry I work in. And I love it. And I've been there for 5 years now.
I've never heard someone talk more excitedly about insurance.
Right?
Nico's over here. I've never been fired up about insurance ever. Now, you got me excited about it.
Yeah. So it's so interesting. And I'm loving it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
So insurance is exciting. So for anybody who's watching who is interested in insurance, don't be fooled. It's actually incredibly fascinating.
It is. Yeah. It's amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay. I'm gathering my thoughts a little bit as you're talking because I'm realizing, okay, so there's obviously a component of, you need to get quiet within yourself to
Yes.
figure out some of the things that you're interested in, some of your wiring.
Mhm.
Then it's like planting the seed, or like, planting many seeds.
Yes.
Or maybe even another analogy would be knocking on lots of doors.
Lots of doors. Yes.
Try a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
and see which ones hit.
Mhm.
Some of them might grow.
Yeah.
Some of those doors might open.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like, sometimes within a room, there's other
Mhm.
doors.
Yes.
So sometimes one door will shut. You got to pivot.
Yes.
So you got to be willing to like,
Mhm.
maybe it's like, I need to take a different approach to watering this seed, or I need
Yes.
it needs more water or less
Mhm.
water, or I'm
Mhm.
killing it, or
Mhm.
maybe I need to actually pull back.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. I've seen like with talking about doors just now, I always seen like whenever a door closes for me,
Yeah.
like a better door always opens for you.
Got it.
So whenever you see like, okay, you're working an opportunity, you're doing something and you see a door closing,
Yeah.
don't get discouraged.
Right.
Because a better one is opening.
I love that. I love that concept of normalizing closed doors.
Yes.
Like that is normal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're a failure.
No.
It doesn't mean that
No.
you're, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It actually is an opportunity. And I love for you, even in your world that you're talking about, it's often a faith opportunity. It's often an
Yes.
opportunity for God to actually speak into your life. Maybe there's something different for
Yes.
you.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that this was wasted.
No.
Actually, I'm going to use it for
Use it for next.
something good.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Love it.
Okay, so cool. So you're doing insurance, and now you're a new dad. So this is a whole new world for you as well.
Yes,
Your
yes.
brand new baby is how old now?
Almost 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
And the name
Her name is Eloise.
Eloise.
Yes.
She's incredibly beautiful.
Mhm.
She's
Thank
the
you.
cutest girl ever.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So maybe we could pivot a little bit, because I want to talk about now for you, like
Mhm.
as you've gone through all of this journey,
Mhm.
as you think about, the future,
Mhm.
what, like, knowing all the things you know now,
Mhm.
experiencing all the things you've experienced,
Mhm.
what's firing you up about the future? What are belief systems that you're even looking to challenge yourself on? Like,
Mhm.
what are your ceilings right now that you're going, no, I actually there's another level for me.
Mhm.
And when you think about kind of like the next chapter,
Yes.
obviously you're a dad, you're doing these things with insurance right now, whatever.
Mhm.
It's very exciting. What are you thinking about? What's firing you up? What are you excited about?
Yeah. So we also have an optical store, which we started
Yes.
like almost a year ago.
Yes.
So that kept us like, on our toes.
Yeah.
Because we were like going to have a baby.
Right.
And it was like so many things were like
Yeah.
going around. So
Because you started it while pregnant?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your
I
wife
was
is pregnant?
Yes. I was pregnant. Yeah. We started it.
Yeah.
And that was like,
Of
this
course
will
you
be
did that, by
the
the
way.
Like, yeah, we're going to have a baby. And why don't we start a brand new physical bricks and mortar building
business,
store?
Yeah, so that was a different experience, because whenever I start something, I don't want everything like, if you're trying to know everything already and then you won't start.
Yes.
I haven't figured everything out yet, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll start it and we'll figure it out
then
on
we'll
our
figure
way
it out as we go.
as we go. So I think I was seeing like this is the best way to do it, because
Yeah.
we all get scared as a human being. You don't
Mhm.
start a business, you think about all these things that come
Right.
around with
It's
it,
overwhelming.
and you will never start.
Right.
You will never start it, and you end up regretting it. So I'm like Katrina is like that, right?
Yeah.
And but I'm like helping her. Let's do
Let's
this.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and because you're an optician and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll just do it, and
Yeah.
I'll help you in the back end.
Hmm.
I'll help you with the business side, and we'll get this done.
Yeah.
And then that kept us really busy, and then we have a baby, which is we love it.
Yeah.
We love being a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, we are sleep deprived, but
Sleep
still,
deprived.
but we still love it.
Yeah.
But like that making me like, I want to spend more time with her. That's next for me. Like, I don't want to be like working in the business. I want to
Got
work
it.
on the business.
Yes.
So I want to build up like, my business in a way where I can build up a team of people who are
Yeah.
working on my business, even with my insurance thing.
Yeah.
I don't have a team right now. I work for brokerage, but in future, I want to have a team which
Yeah.
is working with me. So I'm going to work on the business.
Yeah.
And then I can spend more time
Yeah.
with my family and with her, and give her more time. So we can, that's
Yeah.
what I want to do next.
I've been thinking a lot about that actually lately, because even in my own world of all the things I have going on in a few of my different arenas of life,
Mhm.
church, pastor, entrepreneur,
Yeah.
company, all those things, is the difference between a designer and a doer.
Yes.
You can just continue to heap on yourself all the doing, all the tasks. But actually, as you're developing as a leader, as a husband, as somebody who is increased in influence
Mhm.
and opportunity, you have to begin to be more of a designer.
Yes.
And that means you're not a victim to like the task. I just got to do all
Yes.
this.
Mhm.
And then you actually stop being who you want to be, a dad.
Yes.
You stop being the husband you want to be. You stop being connected to God. You actually become a shell.
Yes.
And I've been really just processing lately, what does it mean to be an intentional designer that isn't just known for all the things that they do, but it's what are you designing to invite people into this world with you so that it is sustainable and it is growing. And it's not that like you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater where it's just like, well, then the answer is just don't do anything. Go, go live in another country on holidays for your, that's a grass is greener fallacy.
Yes.
But what would it look like to begin to design a world where, you're not just doing, you're inviting others to kind of build that with you.
Yes, and that fires me up because I want to bring people in, like encourage them, like even mentor them if I can. I don't know, I haven't figured out everything yet, but I want to learn from them. Then we can maybe work it together in something. So that's what fires me up every time. Like build a team of people.
Yeah,
we can work together and grow.
How are you hoping to do that?
So it's about talking to people, meeting more people, networking, and I have a business plan which I can share with them. Like how we can work it together. Not them working as an employee, working as a partner. That matters more because they should know what they're doing. Because I know this story of I think it was JFK. He went to NASA and he saw this janitor, right? And he said, "So, Mister, what you do here?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm helping a person to go to a moon." So because he knew the vision.
Wow.
He was not there to just mob after
the
astronaut. He was there because his vision, he knew we are working all together to achieve that goal. So that's why when I have my own employees who are working with me, have that mentality because they're not there to work. They're there to achieve a certain vision or a goal.
Yeah.
So that's a mentality. It's the mindset of people I want to change, and that's how we're gonna get there.
I love that you're talking about knowing your why.
Yes.
And when you know that, that will fuel anything. It's not just about, for me, I have to constantly remind myself, it's not about just doing more, achieving more. It's actually about the people in my life that I want to be present with. It's like these combos. I want to be fully present in it, not thinking, what's it going to lead to? No, I want to be actually in the middle of it with my family, my wife, my kids. I want to be present. I want to invite other people to see in themselves what's possible.
Yes.
And I love that your why is it's pure in that sense. It's not just about the Anise show, and there's actually a deeper rooted purpose behind it. And I think that's really encouraging for people that are going to listen to this and watch this. So, okay, well, one last thing before we maybe finish up today. Somebody's watching maybe who, maybe it's somebody new to Canada. Maybe it's somebody who's been in Canada their whole life. Maybe it's someone who's not even from Canada.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't matter where they're from. But maybe they have some similarities to you in terms of they've gone through some hard things. Maybe life didn't shape up how they thought it would. There's a lot of adversity. It doesn't feel fair. And yet they're watching or listening and they are inspired by your story. And as you think about that person, what's something you would want that person to know? What would be your message to that person as they kind of look forward to their possibility in their life?
Yeah, so I would say to someone who's new to Canada, someone that you're not alone.
Yeah.
You are here for a reason. And, you will get discouraged by, look around, different language, different culture, but you're here for a reason. Just don't give up, just keep planting, keep going out, knocking at the door. Then, because Canada is a land of opportunity, but opportunity is not handed over to you.
Right.
You have to go hunt for it. You have to go look for it. And when you look, the Bible says you seek and you find it.
Seek and you will find.
So you find it. So that's what you have to do. You just go out and seek for it, and it's right there. And when the opportunity is there, don't say no. Even if you're scared, if you haven't figured out anything yet, just say yes to it, and you will figure it out. It's always jumping in. If you're scared, if you step back, it's always because I've done that. The few opportunity came, I stepped back, and later on I regret it. Because we have this mentality as an immigrant, we need to make sure everything's figured out before we jump in. But sometimes you need to jump in to figure it out. You're not person who knows everything. Sometimes you have to jump in.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. You're not alone. Just keep going. Don't give up. You will get discouraged, but that's not the reason you're here. You're here to go big. You have to
go big.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I one thought you made me think of is I was talking with a good friend of mine but there's something really beautiful about the intersection of your gifts, the need that people have around you, and the right time, the right place, the right time, the right need. And if you can kind of navigate that, where it's like what you bring to the table, what somebody needs, and the right timing, it's like when that hits, it's like that's like you go. So be aware of like what's happening around you.
Yeah.
What do people need? What do you have to offer? What is the right time for you to jump into those things? Because sometimes it's the right thing, but it's not the right time.
Yes.
So I've been just thinking about that. Sometimes it's like, it's okay to have that angst that, I want to do this, but maybe it's not the right time. So then you wait.
Yes.
But then sometimes it's like all those three hit and then you go and you just go for it. So I love that. Jump. And go big.
Go big.
Yeah. Go for it. Well, I know people are going to be encouraged today as they hear your story. So thank you, man, so much for sharing it. It is honestly, it's incredible. And I love you a lot, man. I love your family, and I'm cheering you on for what God's going to do in you, for what's possible ahead of you, for what you're actually setting up for your family in the future. And so I just want to encourage you, keep going, man. Keep dreaming big, keep leaning in. And I know the future is like really positive, even if the economy says it isn't, even if, whatever the narrative is in our culture, it's like, I just believe like possibility is available.
Yes.
So keep going, man. And I know people are going to be really encouraged by hearing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, just hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, or you can follow me on Instagram at jdriedger. And if you have a question, or if there's someone you would like to be featured on the show, shoot me an email at hello@helpmesee.ca. And together, let's keep challenging limiting belief systems, choosing to see possibility, and pushing past the familiar. This is the Help Me See Show. 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
What's just been busy, baby? And
Baby, man, I guess it's hard. She has been sleeping now.
all right. God, thanks so much for Anis. And I'm just so excited, God, to talk to him today as a friend. But then also just as somebody who's connected to you, who's got such an incredible journey he's been on. And, I know that that's not been always easy and often very, very not glamorous. We always love hearing the story on this side, but when you're in it, it's hard. And yet I see a guy who's been through so many things and had so many reasons to, lean into victim mindset or lean into, somebody who's not able to move forward because of what he's experienced. And yet he has chosen to absolutely attack this life head on and to get the most out of it and to be a follower of you and to lean into you. So I pray that as he shares his story today, that people would be encouraged and they would actually just shift some of their mindset around what they see as possible. So I pray into that in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 It's a journey. And so I kind of had some of this. This metaphor I liked of the door, that to unlock the door to like on the other side of that is possibility. I like just kind of this neutral texture and wanted it to feel real kind of like me in that sense. I like a lot of beige stuff.